I hope you're having a great week. And if you're new here, welcome to the Linden. My name is Linslow, and I like to build in The Sims and play The Sims. So here we are. If you are not new here, welcome back, and I've missed you. If you have not seen, I did just post a video about a Sims 4 Werewolves game pack trailer, so go check that out. I'll link it right up there. Also, this will be a speed build video. It's a mom and pop shop kind of thing. There will be more information about my thought process, future content, all that good stuff later on in the video. So be sure to watch the whole thing. It is now up on the gallery, so you can download it if you'd like. And let's get right into it. I actually just want to show you what I've been doing. All right, so here we are. I think this is in Newcrest, and it's built right next to the modern home that I did, like, I think a few weeks ago. It's not intentional. I'm not making a save file, which, now that I'm thinking of it, I probably should be making a save file for this stuff, but it's not. So you can place this anywhere you'd like. I have it placed on Cookout Lookout, and this starts out as a mom and pop shop. So at the bottom we have an actual like general store kind of feel in the front, and then there's a pharmacy, and it has like a drive-through thing. Now no cars can actually fit through it, but if you want to, you can have your sim go through the side kind of driveway thing. And I don't even think you can do that either because it's an actual window, but you can pretend. And that's really all this game is, a whole thing of pretend. So I do like the way it looks. I was loosely inspired by Bob's Burgers. Don't ask me why, because I'm not really certain on how, but that's what this was loosely based on, especially with the number of rooms and the size of the apartment at the top. And I cannot tell you why, but I actually love Bob's Burgers. It's become sort of a comfort show, I guess. And every time I think about it, I just feel so peaceful. Like, it's not too crazy, but it's still enough for me to be like, oh, this is a cute show. And so I figured while I was watching it, oh, I could definitely build something based on it. And so this was loosely based. I'm pretty sure that if I continue to watch it as often as frequently as I've been, that there will actually be a build that is like for Bob's Burgers and not loosely inspired, but it is a recreation in The Sims. But as for now, this is what I came up with. And so I was watching it, and then once I realized that I wanted to do a mom and pop shop kind of thing here, I realized that I don't know what that looks like. So I actually went to Pinterest to look at some ones that are like in small towns and things like that. And so this is what I came up with. I'm still unsure on whether or not this is actually what that looks like, but I do love the way that it ends up turning out. I do have like some seating area and a nice dining table out in the front there. In the back, I'm really confused on what I did there. So I can't even tell you what the back ends up looking like. But I did want it to be so that, they actually had a backyard and things actually looked nice in the back. But I did want it to feel, I think I looked for inspiration both in small town mom and pop shops, but also like downtown cities and how the back of that looks like. So you can see that it's going to be a mix of more downtown structures in terms of debug, but also the general store has not much in it, so you're gonna see that as well. So hopefully it turns out to be something that you can play in and that you can just, actually use. And if I'm being honest here, I can't even tell you which is my favorite part of this build. I am not sure if it's the small general store at the bottom or the apartment, because the apartment, I have been making smaller spaces, and you will see that in future builds as I upload them and everything. But this one was particularly crowded, not extremely, but more on what I do as, a builder in The Sims. So I think I might like the apartment more than the general store, but also the general store has so many cute things and they're all sized down and there's so many of them. So I might like them all. I don't know. But back to this build. So with this, I do end up changing the exterior paint a few times for the general store because I wanted it to look completely different than what we saw for the apartment kind of thing. So I do end up changing that around a bit, and I wanted to use a lot of debug objects. So you can see I am using some plants, some trees, like some items. I have the fire hydrant over there, and then I do end up using the staircase that came with city living, and so I do use that, and I wanted it to look as much like an apartment in the city, but completely different when you go into the general store below it. And I think it went well, but as I was doing this, I realized that I would love to see some more kind of get to work and general store decorations. I was using a lot of the household items that I use like a lot in my general builds, but seeing them in store and things like that, that would be okay. But I would like to have some items that were tailored to stores and things like that. But that's just my little tangent for the day on what I'd want from my wish list. But as you can see here, I do start to use a new technique where I'm just pulling out everything that I need and placing them places. Like, I don't even go from room to room. It's just like, oh, this definitely looks like it could be in this apartment. Let's put it down. That way I don't forget it. And that goes with a lot of the things that I use here, and not just decorations, but like functional things as well. And you can see for this, I did want to use the things that came with, I think this is like the camping one. I can't, oh, outdoor retreat, that's what it is. And I do use that, and I do use a few other things from outdoor retreat as well. I really love that pack, not just for the items, but I'm not a outside kind of person, and so playing in the Sims allows me to be an outside kind of person without actually going outside. And I know that's very contradictory, but it works and I'm enjoying myself. So I really do like that pack. I would love to see a refresh on that, but then again, what would the refresh for that look like? If I'm being honest, I'm not sure. So I do like the pack alone, even without a refresh right now though. Okay, so on to the next thing. As we can see here, I do start to play with the wallpaper in this apartment a lot. So I do try to change it around a lot because I have no idea really what I was thinking as far as wallpaper. I have decorations done, things like that. That's easier to understand, but the wallpaper has always been one thing that I have yet to understand, to say the least. So I do work on that a few, but I do like the decorations that came up in the end. It's very mismatched and very cohesive at the same time. I don't even know how to explain it, but I do have a lot of decorations here. I wanted it to feel very lived in. So this is more cluttered again than what, you know, my other builds are known for, I guess. But I do end up liking the way it turns out in the end with everything that I put in. I didn't want to make it so that it looks crowded and it doesn't make any sense for any of the things to be there. But also, a lot of the things that I've noticed when furnishing, even like my apartment that I'm in now, a lot of things don't really match like they do in The Sims. And that's when I realized there's no way of really knowing that you're getting everything from, you know, the same catalog or anything. You just go to a store and you're like, oh, that looks nice. And so you buy it, bring it home, and you're like, oh, it doesn't go with it as much as I thought, but it still goes. And so you continue. And that's what I thought about here. Like, just actually furnishing my entire home in the aesthetic that I chose here. I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully it does for you guys. But as we're moving forward, I do go into the parents' room, and this is where we are now. And I assume that, you know, they didn't really have a lot of space, again, because they don't have a lot of space here. But I do end up adding what I could here, and I think it ends up looking, you know, like a standard parents' room. And yeah, and the same goes for the children's room here. I did want it to be for 3 children, or children of the parents. I don't know if they're teenagers or not, but I did want it to initially be for 3, but I could not fit 3 there, so we do end up having 2. So it's for a total of 4 sims. And you could add like a nursery or something in the main room if you wanted to really challenge yourself, but I didn't do that because I didn't want it to be overly crowded, because it's already a lot of things in there. And so I didn't want it to do too much. But if you wanted to, that would be a great time to try, like sea challenges or something in there, because you have something for your family to grow in. And as I was building this, I realized that we don't even have the capacity to live in, where your retail store would be. So your sim family would still have to have like an empty lot or something and just not be there, and you could live here, I guess, but you would still have a home lot. I wish you could have a home lot and a retail store lot. It would make things so much more easier, especially when building things like this, because you can get creative with what you're building and still be able to play the game. I mean, you can still play the game now, but it would be slightly different, and I think it would definitely add to the dimension of what our gameplay could look like as simmers. But in the end, I think it still turns out nice, and I love the logic of retail stores right now with Get to Work. And that's one thing I love about, playing in The Sims, and, the things that have came out so far. So that's good too. But as you can see, I'm putting in a lot of the decorations that I usually put in my homes here in the general store. So we have like detergent, sunscreen, books. There's some plates in there. It's a bunch of other things too. But my ultimate favorite part of the front area here are the vending machines that came with Snowy Escape. I don't know why, they just add so much dimension to this, and I wanted to add in like a small gaming system or stand-up system or whatever. Like, in some places they have like Pac-Man or something. I would have loved to have that in there. I didn't because it's massive. Like, why is the gaming thing that you stand up with, why is it 6 tiles by 2 tiles? That's so crazy. I mean, necessary because that game is pretty massive. But I would love to have something a little bit smaller, something about the size of the vending machine, but not too much. And I don't even think that's something that we can do. But that's one thing that I'd love to see. And I think that's why I'm going on this entire tangent. I just noticed I talked about 17 things in this voiceover alone. But yeah, as you can see here, I do want it to go a little bit more, downtownish. So we do have some graffiti over there. It's encouraged here. And I add in a lot of greenery around and some tables in the back. So I don't know if I initially wanted this to be for, the entire shop, or if I wanted this to be for the family. Inevitably, I think it could just be for people around in the neighborhood and they just want to sit, because here I do have the thing that came with Get to Work, and it's the like refrigerator thing. I've seen a lot of people use it when they're doing the 100 baby challenge, and toddlers can just grab food from there. But you can stock it with, baked goods that you've made upstairs and things like that. And you can just have them sit either in the front of the shop or in the back of the shop. And I think that turns out really nice. I add in some paintings here and a lot of decoration. I didn't want it to make it look like, it's very put together, because this is a mom and pop shop. And the only people actually working in this mom and pop shop are the mom, pop, and their 2 children. So I don't think that they have a lot of time to do a lot of things. And the final thing that I do end up working on here is the pharmacy space in the back, and then I add a small restroom over to the side. I do add a few things to this counter here, but it's not too much. I just wanted to add a few more things of decoration so it doesn't look too out of place. I do change that one into a desk. And so my logic was that one of the parents do have a background in pharmaceuticals, so they do have a lot of sitting space, and this was really tailored from an idea that they had. So I do a few touch-ups, work on the bathroom just a little bit, and that is about it for this. You can download this off the gallery right now. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and enjoy the screenshots. Bye, everyone.